Halloween is my definitive slasher franchise. The mystique and aura of Michael Myers builds suspense and tension, and with the iconic soundtrack that makes you scan for him in every single shot. The lack of backstory which makes the shock and surprise of a 6-year-old kid suddenly murdering his sister. Dr. Loomis being the good to Michael's bad and trying to stop him at every single turn. The intense battles that Michael and Laurie had as she is the definitive final girl. The development of the showdowns as Laurie goes from a plucky teen to a grizzled, battle-hardened fighter. What makes the Halloween movies so great? Michael Myers.
Oh shit!
Even if the cast is lacking and the script is laughable, with the right amount of John Carpenter's Halloween theme and enough Michael Myers based brutality, us Halloween fans will sit through anything. Yes, even when Busta Rhymes defeats Michael Myers with the power of Kung Fu.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
I'm your host Ash, and I'm joined by Slater.
Hello.
Welcome to Easily Entertained. Today we're going to be discussing Halloween Ends, the third and final movie in David Gordon Green and Danny McBride's Halloween trilogy. The most glaring part is that there were 4 writers working on this, so if some of the themes don't make sense or are a bit too convoluted, yeah, let's just blame it on that.
It's gonna make you sad even if you don't think it does.
But before we continue, let's just say how the series impacted us. Slater, what does it mean to you?
Well, it's a weird series because like I wasn't like Halloween was one of the ones I got into a lot later on. I was always more into Freddy and more into Jason.
Yeah.
But Michael was kind of he was always the one that was kind of there. I don't know why. I think it's probably because I watched Season of the Witch first.
Yeah, that'll definitely put you off the series a little bit. Everybody talks about this Halloween thing, but it's fucking shit.
I was confused as well, because I was like, why is there no Michael Myers in this, and why is there fucking goofy masks? Michael is still, like, if there's a Mount Rushmore of slashers, he's on it, you know?
Yeah.
Him, the guy who says garbage day, Jason, and probably the murderer from Black Christmas, I would say, are probably my Rushmore.
Like you said, is on the Mount Rushmore. Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface. There we are. No, he just had that aura, you know, like those four are like revered as these fucking badass slasher villains. And, you know, ever since the 80s, it's been harder and harder to come by these fucking characters because, well, people went, how about we just make it, but just not make it good? And everybody's like, yes!
Involved in lawsuits for years.
Still, I mean, the music, John Carpenter's music is incredible, and that theme is probably the best, like slasher villain theme overall.
That, or like, the only song I would say rivals it in like film is the song that plays in Psycho.
Oh, yeah, true.
Kills the woman in the shower.
Yeah, it's a pretty large voucher, isn't it?
Yeah, no, like that's how good it is.
Psycho
that's
is
the only song I
iconic.
can feel rivals it.
I suppose if we just break it down a bit more, just, you know, Michael Myers is probably it's just a very, very intimidating like presence, and just the fact that he doesn't speak but is still so frightening.
Everything with Jason.
Yeah.
They're just very silent big boys who can sneak about, you know.
Yeah.
They could just fuck you up very easily.
It also works because you have bloody Laurie Strode, who is, as we've said, the definitive final girl. I mean, honestly, it's just sheer fact that she has had so many movies and they've treated her with respect in all of them. Like, she is given that status of, I fucking survived Michael Myers. The relationship between Laurie and Michael is pretty definitive in... I mean, it's been the core point of all of the good Halloween movies. Don't you think?
Even with Daniel Harris, it was still centered around how Laurie was connected.
And that's perfectly fine at this point. Before we fully get into this one, let's just say that this channel is geared towards just enjoying like media and just, you know, watching cool horror shit we like and expressing why it's really cool. Like, but unfortunately, this Halloween Ends isn't necessarily the best Halloween movie, and, well, I'll just say it's one of the most disappointing watches I've had in years.
Yeah, it's shit. It's just shit.
Yes, I do believe that was the boogeyman.
What? Jesus! What?
I personally went out to the cinema. I left the house the first time in 20 years. And Slater watched it at home.
Watched on Peacock.
Oh.
Using the VPN.
Watched it on the cock.
Well, someone else's cock. Still.
But before we get into the actual movie review portion, this is a trilogy and it is the final movie, so it wouldn't really make sense if you didn't have what happened before. So let's first recap what happened in both Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills.
You want to shit under my sink? I will murder you and your whole family.
Halloween 2018 takes place 40 years after the original film. Michael returns to Haddonfield after the bus he's being transferred on crashes and the killings start again, while also reintroducing us to Laurie Strode, once again played by original final girl Jamie Lee Curtis, and the family who tried to stay away from her. Daughter, not Daniel Harris, and Allyson, played by Andi Matichak, in her first major role, who has a soft spot for her slightly crazy, Michael-obsessed, drunken grandmother. We're also introduced to Dr. Loomis's former student, Dr. Sartain, who is even more crazy than Loomis could have ever wished to be, and Deputy Frank Hawkins, one of the cops who arrested Michael back in 1978. Sartain gets buddied with Hawkins after saying he knows the most about Michael and can help, but after saving Allyson, which sees the shape for the first time, we find out how mental Sartain actually is. After Hawkins runs down the shape, Sartain stabs him in the throat with a penknife and puts on the mask and does a funny dance in front of the police car, before dragging Michael and throwing him into the back of Allyson, and deciding to take them for some reason to Laurie's house. But it turns out he was actually the one who caused them to escape from the boss, and he would like to experience what it's like to see Michael in the wild. Sadly, he sees us a bit too close when his face gets made into a very nice looking pie filling.
Say something.
Just joking on top that the way that sounds, it makes it sound fucking crazy.
To be fair, we have skipped most of the film.
That is true. We did miss most of the first bit. But that's fine, because go watch Halloween 2018. This is the recap. Stop being lazy.
Why haven't you watched it?
It's the only good one in the trilogy.
Michael destroys Haddonfield and another 18 bodies to his kill count before being outsmarted by the Strodes. They trap Michael in Laurie's mental house that she's been designing for years, nearly 40 years to be precise, to stop Michael if he was to ever escape again. The family lock him in the basement and using rigged gas pipes to engulf Michael along with the house, leaving him in his own personal hell. The Strodes get out of the house, hopping into the back of a passing truck and taking them to the hospital. But one last shot is shown of the burning basement and no sign of Michael. Kills takes place on the same night as Halloween 2018, but is more centered around the people of Haddonfield than Laurie or Michael, and seems to mostly be set around the message about having social commentary on mob mentality. When Tommy Doyle has grown all up, remembering Michael as a child and being scared of him, and gets the whole town behind going to hunt him down. It's hard to like the people of Haddonfield after the mob hunts down another one of the escapees from the mental hospital bus, and they just assume this quite fat man who looks nothing like Michael at all, even after they had seen Michael earlier in the film. Closing in on him from either side, he is forced to throw himself out of a window. The mob more or less forced this man to commit suicide, and all he'd really done wrong was be mentally unwell like Michael.
It's a really drawn out section where they very slowly chase this man. And this man, you know, he's bloody escaping at all these points. But they just don't stop.
It's weird how he escapes so easily.
But, you know, it just gets really rough because you're supposed to feel sympathetic for them because pretty much all these characters have been deeply affected by Michael. But they do lead to a man killing himself, and that's not on.
Another problem with the film is that you just have Laurie bedridden and still alive Hawkins after he should probably be dead from the first film, just talking about Michael and evil. But we do also learn that Hawkins accidentally killed his own partner and stopped Dr. Loomis from killing Michael back in 1978, and how much he regrets that now.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because we get another look at trauma because, well, I mean, it's Haddonfield, Michael Myers has killed a shit ton of people, and, you know, everybody has trauma about that time.
Nothing there, you just have to have trauma.
Yeah, I suppose the main interesting bit in this is that we get to see Frank and Laurie develop their relationship a little bit, which we will see in Ends, but also Laurie is just bedridden for the whole movie and she doesn't do anything.
I actually get up at one point and fight them, but everyone's like, no, sit down. We don't want you to get hurt. It's like, no, the reason we watched this was for Laurie getting hurt when she fights Michael.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's Laurie and Michael, that's the end game, but we're now just stuck in the middle, awkwardly watching everybody else try to do it.
Now we're at Age of Ultron, and we're trying to get to the end game, you know?
Yeah.
And the kills of the film just seem convoluted and not very Halloween-like. It almost feels like it was meant to be another film altogether, and they just chucked a few Halloween characters in and made it work. And the ending with the mob finally getting their hands on Michael, and they just kick the shit out of him. I'm sure he gets stabbed with a pitchfork and that, but they never do any serious damage, and it just results in him getting up and just murdering everyone, and even killing not Danielle Harris to end the film.
I suppose, just to defend some of the kills, the initial scene where he breaks out of Laurie's house and like the fireman, and he just murders about 12 firemen.
Yeah.
That is the best scene of the movie, and it's absolutely fantastic. Like you have the music, you have the music blaring. It's got like the guitar like ringing out. It's like grungier, and you just see him murder about 12 people at once. It's tremendous. But you know,
the thing is, like, that's a great scene, but the kill I remember most on that is the woman with the revolver.
Yeah, yeah, the one where the revolver's fun.
Where it's so dumb. Like, the gun gets hit up towards her, and she pulls the trigger to kill herself.
Yep. No, it's
like all Mikey got there was an assist.
So Karen, not Daniel Harris, dies, and essentially just her and Tommy Doyle both die. So it doesn't really add to that much. I guess if you want leads, you know, you can't have Laurie for reasons. I guess it makes sense to use these two, but also...
There's also Allyson's side plot of her becoming best pals with boyfriend I didn't mention, because by the time it gets to Halloween Ends, it just means nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot that there was a boyfriend. Yeah, I suppose if we try date ourselves before we watched Halloween Ends, how exactly were we feeling at this point? Like, about to watch the finale?
Oh, I was nervous. I remember being... I knew you were going to see it that night, so I wasn't going to spoil any of it for you.
Yeah.
I remember being extremely nervous.
I mean...
I was like, oh, it's
especially after Halloween Kills, where it's like, okay, Laurie and Michael, no dice. What do you mean they don't really interact at all in this? And they've decided that they're a psychology student now, so they want to talk about social commentary and mob mentality. And it's like, lads, just make a Halloween movie. I think it's one of my biggest issues, and it creeps up a lot more in Halloween Ends as well. Like you said, it feels like they just had 3 separate scripts and just went Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3. And it's like, but guys, this isn't the essence of Halloween, you know?
Like, the way the second one is kind of like, is, you know, in Rob Zombie's second one, it's just like he read a book about psychology. And there's tons of shit, like, about psychology in it.
Yeah. It really struck. It's like they got bored. They went, all right, we've done Halloween 2018. Let's not do that again. And they're like, yeah, but guys, there's 2 more movies to do. And they're like, we'll wing it.
Well, here's the problem. In my research, there actually was never planned to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
There was only going to be more filmed if the first one was successful.
Yeah, and the first one was really successful.
Yeah. It made $100 million.
Yeah, that makes more sense, because they just... The direction of the trilogy makes no sense, and don't want to harp on too much, because obviously we'll get into actual Halloween Ends, and we'll talk about like the continuity of how it all works and blends together. The spoiler is it doesn't really. But yeah, I suppose also just the funny little tidbit, me going into this, I'm like, I wasn't necessarily excited to see Halloween Ends. I'm just like, man, I gotta listen to John Carpenter's music in the fucking cinema. Like, that's it. I gotta hear it with a big speakers surrounding me. That's all I need. And that's pretty harrowing, isn't it?
I'm just happy I used someone else's account and a VPN that I don't pay for to fucking see it. I'm happy I didn't have to pay a thing to watch that shit.
Yeah, I also didn't have to pay for it because a mate paid for me. So win-win, really, but not when it came to the movie. I think also just Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking incredible in everything she does. And it's a shame, but the shame that it didn't turn out really great, but she was really fucking good regardless, so that's all that matters.
Ray.
That was it. Oh, mother! Oh, man. I got peanut butter on my penis.
Ew, Dad.
We kick off the movie, and we're at this rich house. Corey, who, well, kind of becomes our protagonist, is now doing some babysitting. And he's babysitting this absolutely little shit called Jeremy. You like Jeremy?
I like his taste in film.
True.
That's about it.
Yeah. He says he's watching the thing on the TV.
Yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing, which I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. But the problem is, it then immediately made me go, fuck, I could be watching that instead.
So Jeremy's a kid who, I mean, it's not specified, but I assume he has a lot of babysitters, you know. He's got those rich parents who are like, yeah, I mean, let's have a kid, but we're not stopping living, like, fuck. So he's like, all right, I don't want to see Corey again. Let's play a cheeky little prank on him. Jeremy steals the cake knife from the kitchen, leaves it on the stairs, and somehow, like he's corralling. I don't know why I have a goat in my head. What do people corral?
Oh, sheep.
Yeah, like a sheep. like a sheep. Corey gets trapped in the attic. And Corey at this point starts to freak out a little bit. I mean, you would too? You know, a knife's been picked up and Jeremy's genuinely screaming, "Oh God, Corey, help!" The next issue, though, is Corey, he gets trapped in this attic, he's picked up the knife, and then goes absolutely batshit insane. He starts beating down this fucking door, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, Jeremy!" And it's like, yo, homie, he's a kid.
I can understand if he was like, I'm gonna get you for this, you little shit, or something like that. But...
Just, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Jeremy.
Like, I'm gonna murder the fuck out of you, Jeremy. Just...
And the timing on this isn't the best for old Corey, because the latch goes on the door and Jeremy's parents make it in for the grand finale. As Corey kicks open the door, it smacks Jeremy in the face, bit of slapstick, as Jeremy's just like, oh. And then he proceeds to plummet all the way down from these stairs, like falls like 4 stories and just breaks.
It's a big fall. Like it's the way like see when he hits the ground. Yeah. The way the body just like jumps up and it
jumps
it
up
almost
and
like
snaps.
He bounces back to his feet and then
It's rough. It's a really good death, but it's also quite funny. Just because he causes this fucking prank, and then he kicks the door open, and he just like, oh, and gets launched. Like, how hard's he beating this fucking door down?
He is kicking it.
Like, he just annihilates his kid. Obviously, things aren't going well for Corey, because he now has a potential murder charge on his case, as all the parents see is Corey standing at the top of the banister with a jagged knife in his hand. They hear him saying, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, Jeremy," and he looks sheepish because that's his natural expression. So,
I'm gonna kill you, Jeremy.
Classic Halloween intro and the classic theme in pumpkins. These pumpkins break into the ones from the prior films, which is pretty cool in my books. The movie starts with Laurie Strode monologuing. She details the destruction of Michael and how it rocked Haddonfield to the core. It become a place of pain, grief, and paranoia. Everyone in Haddonfield is haunted by the events of that Halloween night. Nobody's been able to move on since. Laurie has started to write a book and has been living with Allyson, and they have been getting on with their lives. Allyson now works at a doctor's office, and they've been living a very quiet suburban life for the first time in a long time. Her writing continues, but the alarm sounds. The fire alarm, that is. She's forgot to take her now burning pumpkin pie out of the oven, which she was making specifically for Allyson. We also get to see a more jovial side to the dynamic. It's much more light-hearted, and you can tell they've worked through a lot of their issues. It's definitely refreshing, because in the comparison to Laurie's frosty relationship with not Danielle Harris, it's great to finally see that they've both at ease. How has it been too kind to Corey, though? It may have been 4 years, but the reception Haddonfield has towards him is as frosty as ever. So much so, a car nearly happily barrels him down while he's just minding his own business.
Yeah, Corey is, he's been given a lot of shit. And I get it. He did get caught kicking a kid down a fucking staircase, holding a knife in his hand, and looking like he's guilty as fuck.
As I said after we watched it, because I live in such a small place, we have the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not quite a boogeyman, but it was just a guy who murdered a lad who worked in an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
And that is what it's like. There is just he is scrutinized for what he has done.
Yeah.
He was guilty, for was the difference. But there's a lot of people who say he wasn't.
Yeah, in this situation, Corey hadn't well, it was an accident. Meanwhile, we're listening to the voice of Willie the Kid, the local radio DJ, a loudmouth who spends the whole Halloween season drumming up hysteria.
Corey Cunningham, what you doing out here, you ugly motherfucker?
We meet Corey's dad, Ronald, who owns the local repair shop or scrapyard thing. He gave his son a job, a place to graft, and now gives him a yellow motorbike. It gives him a whole lot more freedom than his really shit push bike. Do you know what bike he gets?
No.
Alright, you aren't a virgin.
Right. Fucking. But I know what push bike he had. That was the.
While striving to work, Allyson is pulled over by one of her exes. A 40-something-year-old creepy man who is a cop, but he also has a shit hairline and probably could have been her dad. He tells her that she needs to fix her muff.
Learn.
I suppose let's now take the time to say, Allyson, what the fuck? Who are you dating, man? You're telling me she couldn't have found a 20-year-old guy who is not a middle-aged man?
My only theory, because I wasn't fucked rewatching Halloween Kills for this. was that the cop that saved her like at the end of the film? Right.
And the weird part is everybody was fine with it. They're just like, oh, it's only Doug. Is it just such a small town? It's like in Haddonfield, if you're gay. In Haddonfield, if you're gay, you have the other gay, and that's it.
Yeah, there's the two.
There are the two gays. Under the bridge, we're greeted by a crazy old man who keeps collecting shit. Is this what Michael Myers has been doing for the last 4 years? No. Panning across, we get an ominous look at this sewer pipe. I wonder what could be lurking in these shadows.
What else could be lurking in there? Top 10 things that are lurking in that tunnel.
Fucking sewer pipe. I hate it. I hate it. Following back to Corey, and he's at the gas station, faced the eternal dilemma: to get chocolate milk or to not get chocolate milk. Give me a B.
B.
Give me an A.
A.
Give me an N.
N.
Give me a D.
D.
Band nerds! Thing is, you can tell we're in 2022 because instead of like some generic jocks, we get members of the fucking marching band. Why? Why are they the marching band? And why are they all cunts?
I would never be frightened by somebody in the marching band.
Like, oh,
it's like getting bullied by the guy that plays the accordion, or the bagpipes. It's just
they don't have ID, so they pester Corey to, go buy him some booze. Corey refuses, and they go on the offensive as they realize, oh shit, he's Corey Cunningham, the psycho babysitter. More abuse gets hurled in his direction, and he gets so upset he crushes his glass of milk.
No!
Terry freaks out and pushes him backwards, which results in Corey falling and cutting his hand on the broken glass. Laurie arrives before it gets worse, and her influence kind of results in more aggro for Corey later. She gives him a knife and says, "You puncturing this shit on me?" And, well, Corey does it, and, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have done that. Maybe Corey wouldn't have become a psychopath had he not have slit the tires. No, maybe he doesn't slice the tires. Maybe the band geeks don't proceed to hate his fucking guts. Laurie takes him to the doctor's office and he gets his hand checked out. The real question, though, what the fuck are these kids wearing? Okay, the lineup. Imagine this is the usual suspects.
Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker motherfucker!
They're all lined up. Here's the profiles you would give.
Can we still have Kevin Spacey at the end?
Nah, Kevin Spacey's not allowed because this one's made of kids.
They're teenagers. Oh, no wonder Kevin Spacey wants to be in it.
All right, so we have the mullet boy with the drumsticks.
It depends on the mullet, I think. His mullet looked okay.
Nah, he looked like a fucking rat.
Well, yeah.
Next up, we have Jock Boy, main boy, member of the marching band. He has a rich dad. I think that's his entire character. All right, next up, we have Margot, the middle-aged mum who's disguised as a teen. And you have Stacy.
See, if they were with different people, I think it would look like they fit in. I think it's as a group, they don't look like they fit in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have like the conventionally attractive like Jock Boy. You know, he's just normal. You have
Rat.
Yeah, you have the rat. Indeed, you have the one who looks old despite being a teenager, and then you have Stacy. And that are the usual suspects.
Are you a giant?
Just fucking yikes. They look at each other like they're a piece of meat. It's like love at first sight, but they have zero reason to have any interest in each other.
Yeah, I hate them.
That's fair enough.
It is genuinely like.
Just wait. We've got a bit later. Do like like the gold duster.
I'll suck in the air.
Yeah. Fucking Allyson is helping the dog clean the wounds. But because they are so flustered, Corey is so jumpy that he knocks over the metal cabinet and the doc yells at Allyson and storms off. Leaving Corey and Allyson alone, he sweetly says that she shouldn't let him talk to her that way. Admittedly, it comes across as a little creepy, but sweet and earnest. They bond over both having shit jobs. He offers to fix her.
Muffler.
Right there, while she asks him to let her ride his bike.
It's really awkward. Is this
Yeah.
entire scene?
Yeah, like it's awkward to read it back because like I'm trying to figure out there must be more stuff here, but that's really all it is. Allyson asks him on a date, but he awkwardly shies away and he heads home. He does thank her for fixing his hand for him.
All right, so at this point, they've had like 2 or 3 interactions. Let's discuss Allyson and Corey. What do we think?
I wouldn't say it's creepy yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But it's awkward.
I think
That's the only way I can describe it.
It starts off as fairly awkward, but I think it does come from like a place of innocence.
Yeah, like it seems like they do genuinely have feelings for each other.
But it's also like, where the fuck did they come from? Like, what about these last two interactions has made them go, oh yeah, let's have some of that?
As I've said before when we were talking about the film, like when after we both watched it,
Yeah.
it really feels like Corey should have been set up somehow over the past 2 films.
Yeah. Like, imagine. But all right, let's think about the first film. Let's essentially say, all right, first film, Corey's in it, and Corey and Allyson, they're close. All right, fine, do it, build it, make it fine. Maybe at like the near end of the first one or the start of the second one, he still ends up kicking the kid down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so this creates like an awkward, weird, like he shuts himself away, so they break up or something, so they don't see each other anymore.
I would say they're dating. I would say
they like each other.
Yeah.
Maybe they're friends, but they didn't like act on it or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. And so then, eventually he comes out of his shell. Maybe at the end of 2, maybe he helps her. I don't remember what happens in 2.
At the end, they're in the Myers house, and everyone who goes there with Allyson dies. And then that's about it.
Well, maybe at the end they see each other. He's gone out to help her. They start talking again. That's fine. Do that. And then in the third one, now he somehow comes across Michael Myers, and he's kind of been tainted by this evil. He still has a lot of demons. He's still trying to figure out whether he is actually a piece of shit or whether it was just an accident. and just have him toy with it for the rest of the movie. But the fact
it's so
that
weird, to add him in the third film,
like,
just have.
Yeah, my biggest issue is they spend the full hour. This movie's 1 hour 50. They spend 1 hour 30 developing Corey as the main character in the finale of a trilogy, and it reeks of the fact that either they had like three entirely different scripts, where this is like some weird teen, like he's a bad boy, but you know she still likes him. He makes her feel alive.
It's the kind of could it be any more obvious kind of one.
Yeah, and you know, there's a part of their relationship where it builds where it could go normal and be a little less awkward, but it just completely pivots the other way, and I hate it. Both go home to their separate places and eat dinner. We get a bit of a fun little insight to the family dynamics between all of them. Lindsay and Jamie are egging Allyson on, and then Jamie Lee Curtis steals the scene with the line,
You know, you need to find someone that can let go, that makes you want to rip off your shirt and show grief your fucking tits and say, you know what, let's go.
It's just such a good line.
It's very funny.
Like,
do you know what I mean? But when I say it, like at one point I was like, it kind of just feels like I would like it if it was like a sitcom, like the first like 40 minutes of the film.
Yeah, because like these people, they're all so weird due to the circumstances they've had, but like together, they make like a fun little awkward bunch.
Yeah.
Just maybe
It's
don't
like
have someone being a serial killer. You know, that's maybe not good.
It's a bit like watching the Addams Family.
Corey's household, however, is a little less rosy. His mum is like the overbearing Brooklyn mother. You know, like she wants to know everything, no secrets. And, well, his dad, Ronald, who we saw earlier, he's quite laid back and probably doesn't pipe up too much. As I mentioned before, Corey hides that he's texting Allyson from his mum, and he doesn't get custard as a result. This is why she dies. Discuss. Next day, Allyson is getting a muff fixed. They flirt like school kids, but Corey looks like a scolded child when jock boy Terry turns up with his overbearing father, sporting his freshly slashed tyre. She eventually convinces him to go to the party. Awkward tension intensifies as Laurie and Frank flirt in the store. He said he's had a new lease on life and promises Laurie some cherry blossoms.
So do you. I mean, I do too. I like seeing you too.
Returning back to the car, Laurie is stopped by another local, who yells at her due to the pain she's caused. This woman's with the character from Halloween Kills, who gets a light tube to the throat. Admittedly, it wasn't her fault, but then Haddonfield just blames others rather than moving on. Frank comforts Laurie and helps her feel a little bit better about being shunned.
Frank and Laurie's an interesting one, because realistically, I don't care about either of them.
Yeah,
Relationship-wise, like, because in this, like, the only way you see Laurie is just as fucking mentalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that Laurie like has this little like bubbling romance potentially there.
I think
I just like how Frank and Laurie carry it a bit more.
He's just like an older dad kind of character.
Yeah.
You know? So like he's easily lovable, which kind of helps him.
Yeah. Plus he's got cherry blossoms.
Oh, a spin-off sitcom that takes place in between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends called Haddonfield.
Can the tagline be "What's happening"?
No, it can't.
Where nothing exciting ever happens.
Have you heard the story about the sexy cat and the wooden scarecrow? Me neither. He didn't have a costume, so she improvised and made him a scarecrow. Which is funny because Haddonfield would happily have him shunned to stand motionless in a field forever. Oh yeah, and if you just like the mask now, just wait a little bit. It's gonna get a hell of a lot worse. It takes a little bit of convincing, but Corey and Allyson start to have a good time. He starts off uncomfortable and rigid, but then they start to dance and take photos in the photo booth. Corey even lies on the floor and dances, maybe, but it looks more like he's having a seizure from the flashing lights.
Like you told me afterwards about someone just waiting for the beat drop or something.
Yeah, and then I knew a guy who fucking... I can't even remember what the song was, but I remember it's some dodgy techno tune, and he was pretty fucked up, we'll say that, man.
Yeah.
And he did that like seizure thing and went down to the floor, and when the beat dropped, he leant up and kept up and landed on his feet as the beat dropped and started dancing. And it was like, holy fuck. Like, that's a 10, you know? That was perfect.
Yeah. But
I've seen it happen before, but the Corey way kind of just looked more like he might have been having a seizure.
Yeah, I was hoping that it was just me being like a fucking alien and not understanding, but I don't think anybody knows what it is actually supposed to be.
Well, I wasn't expecting seizure on the dance floor. It's a great name for a band.
Classic track.
The man takes his jumper off and ditches the mask. For the first time in presumably a long time, he has felt comfortable out in public. At the bar, he goes for a beer, but his high is quickly crushed by a ghost of his past. Jeremy's mother, the kid he killed, is at the bar and just starts to sling shit at him, calling him evil, and once again he is shunned. When you're struggling with your morality, it's definitely not what you want to hear.
Yeah, like, imagine thinking that you're...
His high, you fucking arsehole.
Yeah, you've absolutely killed it. He's having a great time, he's out in public, he feels free, he feels allowed to express himself, and then she goes, "You're a little cunt, you," and you're like, excuse me?
Obviously, I haven't had a child die to Corey, but from a parent's point of view, if someone murdered your child, you'd probably just hope that they just have a shit existence, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like, it makes complete sense, but also, you know, it does kill Corey's high, and he starts to feel a bit overwhelmed, and you know, it ruins the night.
Allyson and Corey have a moment where they share their experiences of one being a tortured son figure, where the other is a victim, a survivor. Corey, however, is too overwhelmed and walks away, leaving Allyson upset and frustrated.
It's another segment, it's another part in the video where I complain about Corey. Again.
See, I didn't think he was as bad as you made him out to be. Because at this part in the film, I wasn't really minding him.
I think at this point, it's a lot more reasonable.
But he's having a panic attack, and he just wants to be away from everyone, and doesn't want to be around people, you know?
Yeah, I'd argue at this point, my hatred's probably not as reasonable.
No, I later on, I'd give it to you, I fucking hate him later on too, but at this point, I was pretty happy with...
At this point...
He's just a tortured soul, he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, you know, fair enough. That is how it is. I think it was the idea of if something like this can completely change them, like, in a split second, I still think you need to take a step back and go, yeah, is this actually something we want to go for?
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're wrong.
I think that was my take. I was just shrouded by my fucking hatred of Corey as a character. Like, if that happened, why you still like head over heels? Like, we need to fix this. It's not that far developed. Or...
I do kind of like the part where he's like, "I'm not your fucking project, Allyson."
Yeah, and I don't think that's necessarily. I don't even think he's like lashing out at her. That's just how he feels.
It's hard to explain, but it's just like he feels just neglected, I guess, by the world.
Even Ronald too. He's tried to support him as much as he can, you know, but he still had to give him these handouts that he would have got had he not have ended up getting mixed up. Well, had he not have ended up killing fucking Jeremy. The more you think into it and try connect the dots that the writers very much so didn't fucking do, missing some details, and you start like plugging them into different parts. It makes it a lot more compelling, but just remember that the writers didn't do it. This is us.
This is just us, how we see it.
Corey walks home flustered and frustrated from the party, but it's band geeks time, and they corner him. A knife gets pulled out by Corey, gets knocked away, but Corey proceeds to verbally assault Terry. He tells Terry that he's a prick because his dad treats him like shit, and this prompts Terry to haul his ass over the bridge, pushing him over the side. The crazy old man looks on as Corey is dragged into the sewer tunnel. Ooh, the sewer tunnel. Who's in there? One thing I took as a note, like, do you reckon that the hobo is a reference to Rob Zombie's Halloween?
It could be, but...
Like, because basically it leads to the interesting idea of, like, what has Michael been doing for the last 4 years? Yeah, and in Rob Zombie's Halloween, like, he is just a homeless guy who just wanders and...
Till the white horse comes along.
Yep, to the white horse.
And Sherry Moon's okay.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting idea, but ultimately, what is Michael doing? Well, let's just find out. Bewildered, Corey stumbles through the sewers, but gets grabbed by the throat by Michael fucking Myers. Yep, he's been in a sewer for the last 4 years.
In this film, it's confirmed he is mortal.
Yeah.
How does he survive?
Yeah, like, is he just eating rats? Is he eating people? Like,
yeah, like I want to know.
Is he casually going to the shop once a day? Just,
you know, like see, like behind, like deeper behind that wall, so like a full kitchen and bed. And
he's actually just renovated it. It's just how you get a place in Illinois. But then we get the really strange bit that the writers didn't really figure out well. So yeah. Michael Myers grabs Corey by the throat. They look deeply into each other's eyes and
Oh, fucking hell. Christ almighty.
That indeed did not happen, although it would have been a bit more fun. And they probably would have had a bit more chemistry than Corey and Allyson do. So, will there be fanfics of Michael and Corey?
If there isn't already, I'll be amazed.
But no, what actually happens? Michael grabs him by the throat. They look into each other's eyes, and we see like a flashback of all the violence and evil that Corey's been through. But then Michael lets him go. So, what does it mean?
It's... My theory was he can see the evil in his eyes, and he knows that he will continue what he does. And when Corey looks into his eyes, he sees all the evil, and he realizes how, like, powerful he can be. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you made it seem like it makes sense. Too bad the writers didn't do any of that. I think what you said makes a lot of sense. I think it gave Corey a taste of like what that true evil is. And but I also think it kind of like furthered his darkness, you know, like he realized that this is what he wants to be.
Like before that, like see when he pulled the knife on the band kids?
Yeah.
He wasn't going to do anything with it.
No.
It was just to scare them off.
But like, you know, if it were to happen again, this time you'd probably just do it.
Oh yeah, you would just stab fuck out of one of them.
So yeah, so we essentially say that Michael saw the evil and kind of let it go, knowing that Corey was probably just gonna continue doing it anyways.
Yeah, it's like he's seen that, like, yep, you're Haddonfield's finest, and let it go.
Hey guys, maybe I won't have to kill people this movie. This guy's a real candidate. I don't know why he's Canadian.
He's a real candidate.
It's really weird and convoluted and a bit of a mess, and it hasn't really been explained in any way, like, in any satisfying way. So we just have to make up and judge as to, like, what happens, I guess. But it also, okay, the one thing I thought was going to happen is I thought that he was going to, like, take the form of Corey for a split second.
Oh, are you talking like the dagger and fucking Jason?
Yeah, we're talking the dagger and Jason. Like, he was just going to, like, become Corey, which I wouldn't mind so much. Nothing makes sense. And nothing's explained, so you have to make up your own mind. And that's never a good idea.
I wish I had you all alone. Just the two of us.
The Hoberman gets pretty skeptical of Corey being allowed out so freely and pulls the knife. One thing I just realized, was this the knife that just got knocked over? Do you reckon he picked it up?
It's the exact same color, so I believe it is.
Okay. But, you know, this guy, he is an old homeless man, so Corey gets the upper hand, and he ends up killing him. But the more intriguing part is, it's not like Corey intended to. It was self-defense. But
he did threaten to kill him.
Yeah.
At the same time, he did just turn, like, I reckon he could have stabbed him once and he could have stopped, you know, and been fine. But I think it's the fact that he stabbed him like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue, because he stabbed him so much, it then kind of paints the idea of, like, is this the Michael influence? You know, is he went, okay, this, like, before, if he hadn't have gone in there, would he have done this? But it wouldn't have happened anyway, so, once again, the writers didn't really explain. And, you know, that's fine. I don't want it to be fucking imprinted in bold, but at least set us on, like, a path.
Yeah.
Not just say, well, there's 10 roads here, choose which one works. Like, alright?
Well, that's the wrong one, because you're shit.
But the shame is all of the paths are rocky as fucking... There's nothing at the end. This interaction, however, leads to a breakdown, let's be honest. He pretty much stumbles back home. He strips off naked. He looks at himself in the mirror. I don't think he realizes what he sees. Like, he's disassociated from who he was and who he used to be. But also, he just stares in a mirror for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's just mum banging on the door. They're not getting any more custard.
And at this point, you know, the actor, he fucking tried. He tried his best.
Like, Rohan Campbell. He took what he was given and tried his best to do something with it, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think anybody can turn, like, I am suddenly the edgiest man, and I don't even speak properly anymore. Everything's an edgy drawl.
Spider-Man 3.
Like, how much can you really do? But he tries his best. And you know what? Fair fucks.
I respect the text he gave to it, you know?
Yeah.
The wrong photograph! I mean, this is old, Loomis. This is new.
Back to work, though, and we find out that Allyson hasn't been given the promotion she feels she deserves. Why? Well, the chatty promotion stealer has been fucking the boss. As someone who's not really well versed in fucking for a promotion, what? How long do you reckon these plans have to be to, like, get the job? Once you get the job, do you just stop? You're like, cheers, mate. Like,
well, you're still working with them, so you reckon you'd at least continue it somehow. And in this film, it seems like he's a bit more of a sugar daddy at the same time.
That's true. I
guess the promotion would just be part of a long. They might actually have feelings for each other, but
no, not at all.
No, I wouldn't say so.
So you reckon this is like a long-term, like this is in a 5-year plan?
Oh, there was more planning put into that than there was into this film. That's for sure.
Just like, all right, day 1, gonna make kissy faces at the boss. Day 73, time to shack.
Day 73, I've now sent up the kissing emoji on Snapchat.
Day 86, I've got the job. Stop fucking him. I just imagine.
87, fuck, I'm still fucking him. I need to stop.
Do you reckon she got some, like, idea that he's a bit of a sleazy guy, so that's when she started? Or did she just ambitiously just jump in there?
Well, it was over time, you know, just like chats happened, and I reckon they slowly figure out he's kind of into her. You know, and it would just be like, well, I could use this to my advantage.
Yeah.
He has money. Or there is the chance he might have feelings for him, very unlikely. But
I really don't think so.
Neither do I, but like I feel like there's always the chance.
Yeah. Well, we've been given a lot of the benefit of the doubt to this movie, so yeah, poor old Doc Sleazy. He's not winning this one. He's just a money factory.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, poor guy. Oh well, he's rich.
Yeah, fuck him.
And a sleaze.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Go to hell, you can't. Corey goes to see Allyson at their house. Has adopted some of Michael's mannerisms. We get the classic outside staring shot, which is jarring. Also funny because there's genuinely like one bush in the street, so it's just he's just peeking his head around the side. Well, he's not even peeking his head around; he's just standing there.
He's
in the
just
open.
standing at this bush, but it's not even a big bush.
It's getting close, like the howdy ho neighborino kind of bush, you know.
It's actually quite a disappointing bush.
Yeah, it's like in the original, like Michael's like halfway hidden by the bush.
This is like some large ass big hedge. This is like some little fucking perm.
So Laurie sees this and obviously gets disturbed, getting flashbacks to Michael. She goes down to investigate, and he genuinely steps behind her, walks in front, and says, "I didn't mean to scare you." After clearly just walking out of more or less an alleyway and hiding behind a wall.
I also don't understand. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand how he manages to get in that position either.
Well, there's the time that Laurie has to run down the stairs and get to the door, so he's just walked and sneaked behind. He's like he's hiding behind it, you know.
Who the fuck does this, man?
I could feel a jump scare coming, but I didn't expect it to be like that. His darker demeanor definitely freaks Laurie out, and his new mannerisms have been noted. Imagine someone with relationship potential shows up to your house with no warning, proceeds to freak out your pretty street-hardened nan, and then begs you to go on a walk with them while sounding like they're about to have a mental breakdown. What do you do in that situation? I would tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, I feel like in that situation you go, no. Just, do you want to fuck off? Like, how about you go, calm the fuck down, text me later and I'll see you tomorrow. Like, I'm not walking with this cunt. You better pull out a knife or some shit, I don't know.
Like, he looks like he has been jumped, so...
He has been jumped, but not in the last 5 minutes. He just genuinely looks... It's just the fact that he's, like, nearly having a breakdown that's just like, nah. Don't fucking risk it, alright? Nah, I'd be freaking out. Be like, nope. Bye. Then I'd never speak to them again. Because I am unreasonable.
Yeah.
Corey explains that he killed someone, which stuns Allyson, but she still decides to follow him all the way to the house. Which house, you ask? Well, it's where old Jeremy ate the dust.
Looking back at that scene now.
Allyson.
See when he says he killed someone?
Yeah.
And he's with Allyson. Could Allyson not assume that he was just on about Jeremy?
But honestly, Allyson would probably have just been like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, probably.
I already know about Jeremy. No, I mean that homeless guy. Who? Nah, no one. Jeremy. I don't know. I guess I appreciate that he told her, but it's still very strange, and I don't understand.
But yeah, like looking back on it now, do you understand where I'm coming from? Like she would have assumed he was talking about Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was watching it, I was like, well, why is she walking with him? He's obviously gonna have killed somebody.
She's just said that he's killed someone. Like, why would you go with him? But you know, Allyson joins him in the abandoned Jeremy house, and she says, she responds in the most mentally ill way possible. You want to know why? Because she says when she heard the reports, it's like the reports drew her to him. What? I don't understand anymore.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Who sees... Is this like when people decide that they want to fuck Jeremy Dahmer because he's a bit of a kinky gay man? I meant to go with Ted Bundy, but, you know, Dahmer's a bit more relevant at the minute.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all those, like, all of the people, like, sympathize when they're in jail. So, like, oh, yeah, I can fix them. Is it this?
Possibly.
If you're Allyson, I feel like you'd get with the most generic, boring fucker.
Yeah, it's like... It's the same way, like, her mum.
Yeah.
Married to the guy who spills fucking peanut butter on his dick.
Genuinely called Bob.
Ray.
That was it. Oh, mother! Oh, man. I got peanut butter on my penis.
Ew, Dan.
He was the most boring bastard. But he's
The
a
only
sense of
thing-
normalcy and stability.
Yeah, the only two things I remember him is that at the start he spills peanut butter on his dick,
No.
and then he dies.
Yep,
That's it.
good life. It's at this point where it kind of crosses the line where, I mean, the line's been crossed for the last hour 30, however long the movie's been so far. But this bit really sours me on it. Laurie visits Corey's mother, and, you know, she seems like she's about to ask about Corey, and she knows how he's changed a little bit lately. But instead of the mother taking any flack for this, she's just like, it's your fault. It's your fault, you little fucker. If you hadn't welcomed Michael in, Corey would have got sympathy. And it's like, it's not her fault. Listen, alright? If a deranged serial killer decides that you're the one that they want, is it your fault if they murder other people because they're in the way?
That's a genuine question.
Sure.
Like,
it's how it's posed in this situation.
Really, no.
It's not Laurie's fault, but everybody blames her.
It's like, it's just, yeah, it's your fault everyone died. It's your fault a crazy man came back after 60 years to kill someone.
Michael fucking Myers. It's not her fault. She's just there.
It's not her fault. She survived, you know?
Like, I don't know, it's just, I think if we tie it together with Corey, it's another aspect of someone being the textbook word that I've used about 20 times, shunned. You know, they're both seen as these terrible people for things they didn't mean to cause. Or a freak show and a psycho, something like that. And they both like laugh it off and...
Yeah, it's the way Laurie leans and he goes, I guess you're the psycho then.
Yeah, it's I still feel bad, but that's because Laurie's actually, you know, we've seen Laurie. We understand what she's gone through. And she's genuinely done nothing wrong. She has hurt her family because of how she dealt with the Michael situation. But it's still just a bit, it's just a bit rough because she's trying now. She's out of that. She's trying her best to move on and go forward. But she can't move on because everybody's still like, it's your fault.
Yeah, they're all keeping her back, you know?
Yeah. And that's kind of what's happening to Corey, but Corey's going a bit off the rails.
And she was my #1 main best babysitter.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Date time now. Post-murder confession, Corey starts questioning Allison's relationships with Laurie and implants the idea of leaving. Allison is generally quite sympathetic, though, especially with Laurie, which makes Corey's behaviour so much more odd. He apologises for losing his head at the party, but then says it like the most deranged fucker.
Yeah, it's pretty much, he's just like, I'm sorry, I lost my head at the party. And it's like, what? Why are you talking like this? He's gone so needlessly edgy. Oh, when I look into your eyes, I know I can trust you. And he starts like crying. He's mental. He's absolutely fucked.
You tell me you want to burn it down, or you tell me you want to burn it down to the ground.
I didn't understand this line at all.
It's
the same thing. Line. It's the same thing. What's the difference? I don't get it. Do you get it?
Well, there's a difference between you can burn something down, but it stays standing up, or you can burn it down to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
The fuck knows.
But it's pretty much the same act, though. You're still fucking something pretty much beyond repair.
Yeah.
Like, you're ruining it.
I didn't get it. I was very confused.
It's just that one line stuck in my head so much. I'm like, I don't know what this means. Like, obviously, it's you wanna ditch this. You wanna just put everything in the past. You want all of our trauma gone. We're leaving. We're going, and we're gonna leave on a high.
Like, that all made sense. Doug, Allyson's ex, the old ass cop who really shouldn't be with someone that age, walks over and harasses them. They try to subtly tell him to fuck off, but he stays a little too close and puts his hand on Allyson, where she gets increasingly more uncomfortable. Corey squares up to him and Doug finally sits down, but he's not finished with him yet.
Yeah, it's still funny how Doug goes back to, like, it's like the most depressing birthday meal ever. Because it's a bunch of 40-year-olds trying to look 20, acting like they're 16.
It's the way, like, do you want us to go beat him up?
Hey, Billy,
Bobby,
you want us to go beat him up?
Hey, no, we got a problem over here.
It's like in Greece, where every bloke is about 40 years old, but they've all got the shitty little jet black, like, fucking quiff going on.
There's all greasers. Allyson decides let's burn it all down to the ground. They kiss for the first time and Allyson asks him if he wants to come in.
Would you come in at that point?
Oh, what am I, Corey or Allyson?
You are Corey. Wait, no, hold on. It's just...
Either way, it's fucked. Either way, it's a confusing one.
Like, everything you've been through with this guy at this point has just been so much worse for you. Yeah, but he's just told you he killed someone. Yeah, but he's killed another person.
Yeah, but he never says about killing the guy. Like then, he never says I killed the guy last night.
I guess he did also show her Jeremy, so maybe she doesn't realize.
She has no reason to believe that he killed someone last night. Still at this point, I didn't mind him that much. I was like, he's a bit weird. I don't know why she's with him still, but there's some story building here.
I don't know what the attraction is at this point. I just hope that the sentiment is anti-Corey and anti their, like, weirdly forced relationships, and I'm not just the one dickhead who didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
Okay,
it's very
cool.
forced. So.
Yeah.
No, it's very forced. I just don't think it's as bad as you made it out to be.
Yeah.
Corey says another night and ends up, intentionally or not, leading Doug all the way to the sewer. Very intentionally.
To be fair, it felt a bit abstract to me. I didn't know. Like, he looked as if he knew, but...
It's the fucking... He was following them to the house, stopped and turned the lights off behind them.
Oh.
And then turned the lights back on when Corey set off.
Okay, fair enough.
It's you're either being followed or it's very specific that this thing happens, you know? They scuffle about in the sewers with Corey continuously battering him with a flashlight. He yells at Michael to show him how to kill.
It's a strange scene. It really is.
Yeah, I'm remembering it. It's even weirder now. 4 years once again have not been kind to Michael because he's lost his aura and mystique. It takes a stab to rejuvenate the shape who becomes the killer we're here for. Only took 57 minutes for him to get his first kill, though.
57 whole minutes! And it's not even because he's decided to kill someone. It's because Corey's went, hey, you like this fucking sweet ass I got for you? You want to slap it? You want to slap this sweet ass? Even shine it up for you. I shined it. I spit shine this ass for you. Stab it, Michael.
He's pretty much Navi in The Legend of Zelda. Hey, Michael, kill!
Hey. Like, why does Michael Myers need to be gifted a body by this dickhead kid?
I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't make sense.
I guess, you know, the idea is that Michael's been fucking living in this sewer for the last 4 years. And he's old, so because he's not killing, he's no longer this big, like, supernatural being, you know? Like, he's no longer, like, this inhuman...
Oh, so it's like the Cult of the Foreign stuff, where he didn't kill for a few years and became really weak.
He became really weak, so he needs to feel that blood. He needs to feel the release of death to like get it back. And you see it happen because he like reanimates properly, he stands up properly, he breathes again. he is gifted a sweet ass and saying spank it. And then he's like, wow, this is great. I love this. Why do I ever stop? I don't know.
Why did he stop? That's the thing that doesn't.
Yeah, like it's Michael Myers. He's not like, oh shit, gotta lay low. He's like, kill. Like, why is Michael just chilling in the sewers for 4 years? Why is he not trying to kill Laurie? But yeah, just the key point is, why is Corey doing this? Why isn't Michael just killing? Michael fucking Myers. What's he doing down in the sewers? Just dying? What's the point? And despite Corey saying not tonight, he goes straight to Allyson's house and asks some questions. I guess it's some weird form of bonding because they've now faced Michael and they've felt like his presence. But
they both felt in very different ways.
Yeah. But I don't know why this led to them going upstairs and having a shag. Why are they shagging? Like,
it's so fucking dumb.
Like, what? So he goes. So he says, "Nah, not tonight, baby." He doesn't say baby, but you know, may as well throw that in there. He then goes and kills and gets her ex killed, and then goes back. He goes back after rejuvenating Michael Myers and is like, "What do I do?" And she's like, "It's okay. Fuck me."
It's like, oh, you were gone for an hour and now you're back and you want to fuck.
Like you're gone for an hour. You were fine when you left, but now you're a fucking mess. Why is now when you if they shagged earlier, bit fairer, but they're shagging now.
Also, the blood magically disappeared.
He's having a mental breakdown at the minute. Do it earlier, you fucking weirdo. But with all this said, I've had enough. We've had enough. I don't like Corey. I don't like Allyson. So let's take the time to have a quick break and question life.
Oh shit, man! Charlie, where the fuck you been at, man? Don't you know we've been looking all over this motherfucker for you? And why the hell you dressed like me anyway?
Alright, so let's take a break from this weirdly twisted, he's a bad boy, but he's not all bad, romance thriller. Let's take the time to question. Why do directors struggle so much to make a Halloween movie when it isn't Laurie versus Michael?
You don't really need much to describe it for. It's just that's what Halloween is based on, and that's why it works. You know? Yeah,
no, that's true. It's disappointingly the fact, but
yeah,
it's just the sheer fact that anytime they try to do something different, they forget that the core. Like, it doesn't even need to be Laurie. It's just Michael Myers needs to break out of like a hospital or a police unit, and then he needs to go on a rampage because he wants to kill this person. Is it that hard to make a Michael Myers movie where he isn't fucking like escaping somewhere? Like, yeah, sure, he's still trying to kill one person and everybody else gets in the way. That's fine, but like, why is it now not a Michael Myers movie? It's a Corey and Allyson movie.
Weird. I don't get it.
Like, it's Michael fucking Myers. Why have we only seen about 3 minutes of Michael?
Less. Like, it's what, like, even in the original, like, you don't see him that much.
No.
Until like the last probably half an hour of the film, or
you don't see him much, but you know that the amount of like build they've done and the suspense they've created, especially paired with the music, you go, he could be anywhere.
Yeah.
But you don't get that in this. You just go, oh, where's Michael? Oh, he's in the sewers doing something. It's like, all right. I kind of liken it to, you know how all of the horror movie remakes, you know how they never use like the iconic theme?
Yeah.
like until the end credits. It's like,
Right.
motherfucker, it's right there. Why aren't you using it? And that's how I feel about this
Yeah.
movie and Michael.
I think Halloween Ends, in my opinion, was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be. Holy shit! It's just gonna be them fighting in the hospital.
Yeah.
You know.
Or just like Laurie's finally gotten away, but Michael is on a fucking case. Now it's
Yeah, like,
essentially
I-
escape, fight, escape, you know?
Yeah, like that's what I expected after, like.
And this
the
is
end
after
of
2 movies of build.
Yeah.
It's not the first one. It's not the second one. It's the final. This is the trilogy done.
Fuck you.
What did you say, son?
I said fuck you.
Fuck me.
Laurie gets back and she sees both Corey and Allyson going up to the bedroom for a cheeky romp. But while she's staring at them, she doesn't realize that Michael Myers is, what, like 20 feet from her?
I did 3, about. I'd say less. I'd say about 10.
Michael is here. Michael's coming. But when? Well, just wait for like the last 20 minutes. Because you get excited like, oh shit, Michael's here, guys. This is where it starts. No. No, it doesn't.
A lot more boring shit to go to, Michael.
Maybe this is how Michael figures out where Laurie lives? Alright, so post-romp. That's sex for all you non-rompers out there. Are you a romper?
Shut up.
Corey spies the Scarecrow mask. Once again, it's a shit mask, and I really don't understand. It's just he really wants to mirror Michael, doesn't he? That's it. He wants to be this persona, this evil figure.
I think it's. I think it's more of this is how the town sees him, so he's gone to the point where he believes it himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, if they want to see what true evil is, I'll fucking show them true evil, you know.
You know, if it's just some normal speaking teen who's just been given shit the whole time, fine. But not when he's undergone his edgy phase.
Yeah.
If he was just a normal kid till now, this is where he goes, fuck it. I'm gonna show him who's really the villain. Next day, and Laurie is discussing Corey's darkness with Lindsay, who's back. She's back, guys. It's fun to think that she wasn't even supposed to be in the second one. Everybody just went, man, Lindsay's really cool. We like Lindsay.
Bring her back. Go on.
Go on, bring her back.
What have a drink.
And
Go
now,
on.
and now she's in an extra 2 movies. To be fair, Lindsay was always a fun character in the original. Why?
Oh, yeah,
Because she just wants to watch some fucking TV.
Just leave me alone. I want to watch TV.
Annie's been struggling the whole time, just like, come on, Lindsay, help me. Lindsay's like, well, fuck's sake, gotta stop watching the thing. Amazing. Like, completely unfazed. Because Laurie's discussing Corey's darkness, it leads Lindsay to point her towards Jeremy's dad, who I didn't actually realize was Jeremy's dad for a second, because he looks like he's aged.
I knew who it was.
I mean, losing a kid will do it to you.
Yeah. A lot of stress.
But yeah, he goes through this story about how, you know, he used to believe that he was a good kid, and he was trying to convince his wife, Jeremy's mum, to, like, we should forgive the kid. You know, he's been through a lot. He's been completely just essentially blacklisted from the town. Nobody wants him here. And he drives up to go and talk to Corey, but I think it's after the Scarecrow night, or after the day where he kills the homeless man, because he's still wearing the Scarecrow outfit.
Yeah, it's when he's walking to Laurie's house.
Yeah. So, and at that point, the dad kind of looks in his eyes and he just gets a bit uneasy, like, fuck. This is not the kid who I remember, you know.
I found that scene way funnier than it had any right to be, because he just leans down and looks in the window.
Yeah, it's
and
a bit awkward.
Face. And all I could hear was, good day. I started laughing to myself.
That's it. No more sad stories, Jeremy's dad. You're out. We'll never see you again. we see old Doc Sleazy and the old promotion stealer. And it's the night. They're gonna shag. Does she have to earn the promotion after she's already got the promotion? Or does she start working on like a new goal? Just like, alright, maybe if I do it this well, I'll get a car.
Well, she gets a nice bathrobe and she goes there.
And that's
nice
it.
Robe, anyway.
That's it. That's all she gets. Sorry, promotion stealer.
A knife.
Yes. Yep. Too bad. They can't romp, unfortunately. That's exclusive to Allyson and Corey. This is why Haddonfield's so angry. No one's shagging.
They'll sexually repent.
They're all just having a sad hand job, just like, oh well. Cheers.
I didn't want to shag anyway.
And this little rendezvous, well, split up. Because Corey's here with his scarecrow mask and he's got a corkscrew and he drives it into old Doc Sleazy's head. And they're like, fuck. And then Corey tries to run into the house, but promotion stealer slams the door on his injured hand. But don't you worry. It's bring your geriatric dad to work day. Michael comes on in, impales her on the wall, and I don't understand. What is this? What is happening?
Why are they a tag team?
Why are they tag teaming these fuckers? What's going on?
I was so confused.
Why are they a team?
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Michael doesn't work in pairs. He works alone.
Like, his whole thing is that he doesn't like people, and that's why he kills them.
Yeah. You know, Michael does put the knife through her, and she's, like, stuck on the wall. It's a throwback. Pretty sure that's the third time that kill's been done in Halloween.
At least for...
Yeah. So, you know, it's a nice little bit. One thing I wrote, there's a surprising lack of nudity in this. Not that
in the other two fours there.
I don't know why I'm harp on this point. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not like, where's my tits? Give me my tits.
I don't think there was enough boobies in that movie.
Where's my arse? But, you know, for like a Halloween movie, I think it also ties into the point that it's probably just me being a slasher fan and we watch a lot of dodgy slasher shit lately. But I also thought the gore was a little bit lacking. I
thought it was solid myself, but that's because I've experienced all the bad stuff now, and it's kind of like I can look into like a film with a lot less gore than another one and see there's still a lot of good gore in it.
I don't think the gore was bad. It's just that the gore wasn't necessarily shown. Like you'd see someone get stabbed, but the camera would just be out of shot. So it's like, stop fucking teasing me. If you're gonna fucking show it, show it. If you're not, don't fucking show it. I think the next most fun bit is because the next scene we see is just a close-up of Corey on his bike. And for a second after this scene, I genuinely thought we were going to get Michael Myers clinging onto the back. Like, I thought he was going to be taking Michael back to the sewer or something. Like, because they didn't show Allison's face. So I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is this?
Here, mate, can I get a lift?
Like, and I wanted it to happen so bad because it would have been so funny just to see the white Michael Myers mask just clinging on to Corey.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
I saw someone in the hallway standing outside my door.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
There was a fucked up face watching me from the dark.
Oh, ghosts and goblins, little buddy.
Shut up, Dave!
They climb on the roof of DJ Woody's studio, and Corey sets the leaving plans in motion. They're going to escape their trauma, and they won't have to relive it every day. For some reason, he decides he's going to jump off the side of the building after saying, "I don't think you have enough bandages to fucking heal me," which is very fine. You know, it's like, well, you're going to need more than bandages, because we need crutches in a minute. He jumps off.
It's a fun line, but it's still... Who does this to the girl? Are they together?
Yeah, at this point, I would say they're together.
Why would you do that to your girlfriend? Just, gonna jump off this building. Way, just kidding. I did it anyways. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Michael Myers set up in a confrontation with DJ Willie reaffirms the sentiment to both of them that they want to leave.
Yeah, this section's more of me just kind of trying to rationalize why they're so dead set on leaving. And the answer is they're trying to ditch their trauma and move on. I think. I believe it from Allyson's side. I don't believe it from Corey, though.
No. An updated look at their family dynamic. They're both damaged their relationships dramatically with their family members. Laurie hates how far they've gone and how much their relationship has darkened Allyson, and she realizes that to protect her, this relationship needs to stop. Meanwhile, Corey's mother gets upset and feels like she's losing him. Overwhelmed by her emotions, so she slaps the boy and then kisses him on the lips. Sure, why not? Some people kiss their family on the lips. Not me, but some freaks. Ronald says he hopes he finds love. I think realizing how far Corey has fallen as well. It is interesting the relationship between Ronald and Corey.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if it's his real dad or not as well.
Yeah, that's possible. But like we see, like Ronald does his fucking best.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a solid dad. But at this point, I don't think Corey really sees it as that. I think every relationship he has is kind of just dumped.
He was a different guy before the fall, you know?
Yeah. And like, it makes sense, but it's still kind of sad.
It's a shame, really.
Yeah.
Like, the poor kid is just ostracized by the community.
Yeah.
You've heard this for the 5th time now.
It's actually Halloween night. The movie starts now. If you've been sleeping the whole time, this is where it starts.
It's been about 4 days.
Yeah. But this is Halloween. Yeah, honestly, the timeline with the film, they don't really give like a time span of how quickly this develops. Yeah, the timeline, because I feel like this all has to be in October, because they go to a Halloween party.
Yeah.
It's clearly autumn. But does this all just escalate over the span of about 3 weeks?
It feels like it takes place over like 4 days.
Like, how has this happened so fast?
It's like, well, if you do it night by night. First night is the night they go to the party.
Yeah.
Second night is the night where he kills Doug.
Yeah.
Third night would be the night where he kills the doctor and the slut.
Yep.
And then goes and shags her.
Yeah. The Allyson, not the dead slut.
Yeah.
We respect women.
But, yeah. And then they go sit on the roof of
Big Willie.
Yeah, that's the 4th night or 5th night.
Yeah.
And then it's Halloween.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just seems it seems just way too quickly.
The pacing makes no sense.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it is Halloween now. The name of the movie. At some point it will end. Not before a very long time though. Jesus Christ. One thing I don't know about one of the most boring and shit video intro ideas I had.
Mm-hmm.
So when I bought an actual physical copy of one of the Halloweens.
Okay.
And it was like, you know those ones that like stick out, like they're 3D and like you move in it changes color.
Yeah.
And so the entire plan of this really interesting intro is I was just gonna fucking move it back and forth in front of the webcam, just like, this is Halloween, this is Halloween. And I may have been having a mental breakdown.
Fuck you. That was true Corey mode right there.
Just how shit was that?
Ever watched Paradise PD?
Nah.
There's an episode where he loses it trying to find out who this ass belongs to.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll find out whose bottle that is. No, you won't. And all this. It was like, that's all I could picture.
Yeah, there we are. That's the little tidbit. That video didn't get made either. No, unsurprisingly.
Fuck for that.
Yeah, it would have been garbage. Alright, so it is Halloween night, so it is the final act time, pretty much. And we wake up in the house of Jeremy's parents. Obviously, we saw it earlier, it is abandoned now, but first, Corey is sleeping where Jeremy died. Bit weird. Bit mental. But Laurie's also decided that she's got to show up. She's rocking back on this chair. And basically, the cliff notes are, she says, yo, stay the fuck away. And then Corey goes, you stood it! And it's like,
it's not wrong.
Yeah, but listen, alright? I bring someone in to meet you. This relationship develops. And then the person you meet turns out to be mental. Is it really my fault?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Halloween says. It is your fault. It's everything's Laurie's fault.
Yeah, that's kind of the premise of these free films.
Everything is either Laurie or Corey's fault. But I couldn't handle it. It's like, you started it. Oh no. It gets worse. Because he then, wants in this fucking edgy sludge. It's like, if I can't have her, no one will. And it gets worse. It does get worse. Because now we go back to the sewer pipe. And Michael, not doing anything interesting, just chilling in the sewer pipe till Corey bursts in, gets manhandled. Michael Myers killed about 50 people, has taken many bullets, been stabbed multiple times. He gets out wrestled by Corey. And he steals the mask and goes, You're just some guy in a mask anyways. And then he runs away. He's bitched out Michael Myers.
He just puts Michael in his place. It's so weird.
Why is he bitching out Michael? It's Michael Myers. You don't do that. He let you live, you little ungrateful cunt.
He just comes and nicks his mask. Like, fuck you, it's mine now.
Like, why? Okay, so there's this big cool villain that we've had for the last 40 years. He's called Michael Myers. Yeah, but have you heard of this guy called Corey, though?
He can put the same mask. That's quite funny.
Same thing, right? And this, well, it starts out on Corey's rampage. They made the plan, they're going to leave at 9. Allyson is leaving. Laurie's like, nah, don't leave. And she's like, well, how about the fact that it's all your fault, Laurie? And it's like, oh, not again. Fucking hell.
I feel bad for Laurie.
You reckon she's hit a strike yet with being blamed for shit she didn't cause?
Oh, she's got bingo at least 3 times.
Like, and it's a good scene. Because Allison's like,
great acting.
Allison's like, I've lost everything because of you. It's all your fault. My friends are dead. My parents are dead. And it's just because you can't fucking give up Michael Myers.
It isn't wrong.
And it's not wrong. But it's also not her fault.
No.
But it's unreasonable, like upset and annoyance and hatred. Not even really Allison's, just Corey's that has been slowly fucking oozing in. I think one thing I would have liked is if they had more scenes together, so it would have felt a bit more emotional.
It's not a problem with the film. There's just not much Laurie in it either, as well as Michael.
Like, the scenes they did have together were fun. It proved that they had a good dynamic. They worked through a lot together, but we didn't see much of it. So it didn't really hit the necessary chord that they wanted it to.
It's just, yeah, it feels like there's always just something missing.
But now it's murder time, because we're back at the scrapyard. Ronald is in the office watching... It looks just like an 80s action film. Want to know why?
It's,
oh, is it actually a film?
Yeah, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme film.
Oh, shit. Well, all I remember is just the mullet and the guns, and I'm like, yes, this is 80s. But unfortunately, Ronald doesn't get to just sit and watch his film. The Band Geeks, they're back! The most honest, they've had more screen time than Michael Myers.
Which makes me very sad.
And they're like, we're gonna fucking take out Corey, because I guess his bike is here? It is here. His bike is here, so they're gonna fuck him up. You know, they're gonna ruin his bike. They're gonna take revenge. But, well, checkmate, lads. Sorry, Corey's already here. Mullet Boy takes a set of drumstick to his eyes.
Quite a good way to kill somebody, for.
But, you know, it's fair enough. You know, the Mullet Boy, he does carry around the drumsticks everywhere.
Yeah,
it's not like... Basically, it's not emphasized enough that on thinking about it, I just thought he got stabbed. You know,
I thought it was a screwdriver.
I was like, oh, he just had someone put through his eye. Like...
This is the first moment I've realized that they were drumsticks.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had to go back, and I'm like, oh, they were drumsticks. Because I was sat there like, why didn't they use drumsticks?
This is also, which has in my opinion, the worst part of acting in the film.
Yeah.
Where band Jonk number 6.
Yeah.
He sounds fully normal. What's his name? Terry sounds fully normal. He says, he's dead!
He's dead! Oh, God.
I was like, holy shit.
Have mercy on my soul. He's dead.
He is dead.
It's really wooden, and it's really rough.
What's wrong? Billy's dead!
Also, I thought there was going to be a bit more like nuance with this scene, because, you know, Margot, the middle-aged mum, dressed as a teenager, she gets it worst out of everyone. And she's been the least problematic one.
Yeah. So
she tries to climb over the fence, doesn't make it over.
Gets dropped.
Schmeichel runs her over and just makes her fucking lie under the weight of a car and on this fence gate. We then see Stacy get wrenched, and yeah, poor Margot is just sat under this fence. Like, am I gonna live? Am I gonna live? But then we cut to Ronald. He's back, and he's a hero. Because, for some reason, Terry's like, help me, please. And Ronald goes, bring out the guns, lads.
I like how he has 2 guns.
Yeah, like, why does he have 2? He just... And he gives Terry the fucking rifle. Give the pistol, man. Terry, see, because old Schmeichel here, he's taken off the mask, and it's only bloody Corey.
Yeah, he's like, no, don't shoot. It stands up, takes the bullet.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And once again, it's like, this is a nice moment.
It's a... Ronald's the one character I hoped would survive. Because he did nothing wrong. He's nothing but a nice guy. Gets fucked.
But, you know, it's I guess it stays true to his character. He has just been trying to help out Corey. Imagine how fucking harrowing it would be to realise that, my fucking son has killed these teenagers. Jesus. He obviously didn't get much time to think about it.
Yeah,
but...
they didn't really tell it.
Oh no! Poof. Well. Yeah, all I said is, what a shot. Because it lands right in the middle of his dome.
Beautiful. If that was aimed for Corey, it would have been an instant kill.
Yeah. But, in retort, old Schmeichel Myers. He pulls Terry to the ground and grabs a blowtorch. And just fucking ruins his face.
Oh, I love it.
It's cool,
much, but
it didn't show much. But it was still a cool. You know, it used something that Michael wouldn't do that kill. He doesn't know he'd use a fucking blowtorch. So yeah, what do you think of Copycat Killer?
I'm having a bigger problem with you saying Michael Myers. I keep thinking about the Denmark goalkeeper,
yeah.
Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah.
I just think I'm just picturing Michael Myers wearing a pair of goalie gloves, giggling to myself. Copycat.
They're just not nearly as menacing either.
Yeah. Also, it would have been very funny for him to be a copycat killer and wear the cat mask.
I'm glad it wasn't the scarecrow mask though, because that's shit.
Oh yeah. In revenge on everyone that's upset him, he returns home and turns his sights to his mother. In homage to Michael's first kill, he grabs a knife from the kitchen drawer and murders his mother.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just basic.
It wasn't even that good a homage though. Like they had the
No.
breathing, and then they didn't have him like put on a mask, and he just
He's already
didn't
wearing the mask.
Yeah, but we didn't see how he did it either.
Yeah, it was
Because
just kind of
like and
it
she's
was a
dead.
freeze frame, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a freeze frame, and it's like, oh, she's dead. All right.
Well, that's cool. But who wants Willie? Corey
Yeah.
does. He enters the radio station, murdering the assistant and bashing Willie's face in. Extra sadistic points, though, because he cuts off Willie's tongue and it bounces back and forth on a record, continuously looping it.
Yeah, it's a good kill.
I would say it was probably the best kill in the film.
It was the best kill, without doubt.
It's also the fact in the next scene, like
yeah.
Allyson's arriving at the diner and you can hear it skipping on the radio.
Yeah, and she's just like,
I
oh,
think it's
what's
great.
that? Just, like, kind of like in her brain just goes, that's weird. Carries on.
Yeah, it's like why is this going and turns it off? Yeah.
Especially because you do get the scene earlier where Willie just tells
He's
him
an
to
arsehole.
fuck off. He's a dick.
He's a prick. He's like, he deserves to die in
Oh,
this
yeah.
kind of films.
But the issue is, this is like the one, like, is it weird to call a kill like charismatic? Like it
Not
has a
really.
lot of, I say it has a lot of personality, you know. Like
It makes him stand apart from Michael Myers, in my opinion.
this is like a satisfying kill. Because I don't know, the one thing I have
he's a
in my
prick.
head
Yeah, okay.
is did you ever watch the Elijah Wood remake of Maniac? It was in like 2013. It has the like
Yeah.
synth music. It's
I've
fucking
watched
great.
a lot of films, man.
Yeah, I know. But regardless, the most satisfying kill is you have this like he's a guy who's like, oh, I'm an actor, and then he's like, yeah, I did a toothpaste commercial, and he's got these like shiny bright teeth, and when Maniac kills him, he fucking puts a cleaver straight into his mouth, and it's like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like this is a kill that has charm.
Yeah, I guess because they build it up. I guess it's because Willie always talks, and he can't talk out of tongue.
Yeah.
So that's why he cuts his tongue off.
Because we don't know the background of Michael, you just go, this is fucking cool. Because you don't know why he's doing it. But because we know who Corey is, it just seems a bit unreasonable. Like, oh, he's killing his mum. Okay. He was mean to him once.
Yeah, but you don't know if that's how it always is, you know?
Yeah. I guess just, the custard runs deep.
Yeah, you can't fuck with the custard. Allyson is ready to leave and declines a call from Laurie, who is pouring her heart out and wishing for her to get home, and that she is sorry. Laurie turns off all the lights and carries a big old bottle of booze into her studies. She lights a pumpkin and retrieves her pistol from the safe. She calls the police and reports a suicide, and she puts the trigger to her head whilst the shadow starts to emerge. She pulls the trigger and boom, it splats all over the wall.
Did you really think I'd kill myself?
It's a fucking great, it's a cool moment.
He only has a jack-o'-lantern in that room.
Yeah.
She shoots the insides of a pumpkin at that wall.
Oh.
But jack-o'-lanterns don't have pumpkin insides, because you take them out to make it a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, but to be fair, in my head, I had like the dumb. In my head, I went, "Oh, that was smart." She lit the pumpkin so it would get a bit more malleable and a bit more of like a mess. But I was just
That's smart. Yeah, possibly.
No, it's not. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
it
bullshit,
sounds
but
it sounds
makes it
good.
more realistic.
Yeah, it wouldn't be likely, but also if you can suspend your disbelief and not be a pumpkin fucking loser.
I'm showing you what. If you can moan about fucking Corey for 4 hours straight, I can make one moan about fucking pumpkins, alright?
Yeah, but this is a really cool moment.
It's a really cool moment that's ruined if you know about pumpkins.
Say it again.
Tina? I love it!
If you don't care about Laurie and you've watched any Halloween, something's gone wrong.
Yeah, you haven't enjoyed Halloween.
So you're just kind of like, fuck. But then we get the Laurie we know and love, and she's like, did you really think I was going to kill myself? It's just like, ah, yes. It's a great moment.
Personally, I didn't think it was believable.
Yeah,
like, the second she pulled the trigger and it was just orange, I was like,
yeah,
that's not orange.
If you take it from Corey, who's seeing this through the mask and is, you hear a gunshot by her.
No. I look at the wall and go, why the fuck is that bitch's blood orange?
Yeah.
I've murdered 12 people today. Why is none of their blood orange?
Yeah, it's also really, grainy.
Yeah.
No, but, I imagine that the whole scenario is what was, that's what takes the attention. You don't just look at the walls and go, that's orange me. Fucking hell. Yeah, it's just those things it's those things that you can't avoid. Like, your brain just goes, this scene's made worse for this. But look at the colour. And you're like, ah!
I couldn't, once I seen it, I couldn't stop seeing it. And I was like, okay, well, yes, she didn't kill herself, obviously. Because, if you kill yourself, there'd be at least some brain matter on that wall, too.
Yeah.
Based on the direction she would have shot to land on that point, Unless her brain matter is now seeds.
Yeah.
It kind of took me out of the film for a little minute.
Yeah.
Touch me the wrong way.
Okay, that is so not funny.
Screwdriver, Mommy, you want a hammer? Look at this, Mom.
Laurie!
I'm sorry.
Laurie plasters Corey with bullets and he falls over the banister the same way Jeremy did. Laurie comes down the stairs and tries to speak to him. He starts to laugh as he hears Allyson pulling up and says, if I can't have her, and slaps the knife straight into his neck.
It's
very disappointing.
It's really disappointing because you're just like, fuck. And even Laurie's like, oh, you fucker. You twat. But, he's kind of
dumb.
Consumed by evil. I guess it makes sense because that's been Corey's MO.
Allyson walks in through the door, distraught because she thinks Laurie took away the only person that made her feel alive. She quickly leaves and drives off, leaving Laurie vulnerable and alone. Laurie sinks down to the ground, but her back door is ominously open. Michael is here. He finishes the job, snapping Corey's neck. She spent an hour 30 of the movie for Corey just to cause friction between Laurie and Allyson, which leaves Laurie alone and vulnerable. So, did Michael use Corey, and was Corey always part of Michael's plan?
No.
And if that's how that worked, why was Corey not in every fucking movie?
Yeah, we've already discussed how we would have liked Corey to have been implemented earlier. It does feel like they just realized, oh, let's have this guy called Corey in this one, and then the writers are like,
here he is.
Lads, we made 2 other movies, and they're like, well, we'll just spend an hour 30 of this building to it.
And then he could die. It'll be funny. And
Yeah,
now
and
look, it's Laurie versus Michael, what you wanted.
Yeah.
We could have given to you hours ago, but here it is now instead. Ooh.
Yeah, and so I think my biggest issue is just when it comes down to it, like you said, all he's there to do is to just make Allyson leave when Michael appears.
And to make Laurie seem vulnerable.
Yeah, that's it. That's what the last hour 30, the most long, drawn-out part of the movie, that's what it was for.
Yep.
Was it worth it?
Nope.
Exactly.
It was worth the last 20 minutes, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's not even the last 20 minutes, but the last 14 minutes.
Yeah. Allyson gets a call from Frank telling her about Laurie's suicide call. She gets back into the car, but also notices the radio tower burning to the ground. I think at this point she quickly realizes that maybe Corey hasn't just lost his phone, you know. maybe he's doing some worse shit. I think that's the signifier that Corey's on fucking self-destruct mode.
No, but he's already... Fuck's sake, Ash.
What?
She'd already seen him dead.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's true.
Already...
Never mind.
Yeah.
I guess it's a nice gesture so she can get some closure or something.
I think this is a sign that he's gone AWOL. No, he's dead. She knows he's dead. You reckon that she doesn't know Corey's dead?
I wonder who would say that. Maybe she just realizes the extent of how mental he actually was, like you said earlier.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think that's it. She's just like, oh, fuck. Back to the action, however, as it's cat and mouse. Laurie is hiding in the pantry whilst Michael is investigating the kitchen. The microwave goes off, distracting the shape, whilst Laurie surprises him with a door to the face. If only there was a gigantic set of stairs for him to fall between. She falls to the floor, but picks up a knitting needle and tries to stab him in the head. Michael catches a hand, though, and drives that needle into the side of her face.
Why are those knitting needles so sharp?
I don't know.
So that's one where I've knitted before, and knitting needles aren't that sharp.
They don't give out sharp objects to mentalists.
Oh, fair enough, yeah. Was 12?
Shrieking out in pain, she messes with the mask, which gives her a moment of relief. Laurie plants a knife in his hand and pins it to the table, plunging a kitchen knife to his chest, but he sits up as she strikes another knife through his hand and chisels it into the table with a frying pan. Pinned down with a knife in each hand and then a fridge thrown on top, Laurie begins to calculate Michael's demise. As she claims the advantage, she explains how she has tried to run from him, has chased him, has tried to contain him and forgive him, but now he's the man who's about to stop breathing. Knife drawn against the throat, and she slits it, but Michael's one arm leaps from the table and catches Laurie around her neck. He starts to choke her out and she says, "Do it," whilst a montage of the most intense moments play. You really think she's about to die, but Allyson gets back and snaps Michael's arm. To finish the job, Laurie slits Michael's wrist and we see a pool of blood develop under the shape. As inhuman as the shape may be, this blood loss may be the one thing he cannot come back from.
It was nice to see him die, but I still think Laurie should have died at the same time.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like Halloween's ended if one of them is alive, in my mind, but...
I get it, but it's also not very satisfying.
No.
I do like the thing if they pin him to the table. That's cool.
I like the arm break.
I do like the arm break because that is fucking... It was rough, but it was really good. But
it's the fact that she's a nurse means that she knows she would probably know a good way to break someone's arm, you know?
Yeah. But just the fact that he just kind of whimpers out.
Yeah.
It's just a bit... I don't know how you'd kill Michael, though. That's the issue, as I don't know how to do it better.
In my opinion, I thought Corey was going to be the one to kill him. Or at least he would die trying to save Allyson or something like that.
Yeah, like a final display of, I wasn't Kyle.
I'm redeemable.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we got what we got.
Yeah, which is a bit disappointing,
but it also kind of is like, yeah, Michael's old, man. Michael's fucking ancient at this point.
It's not as impressive.
No.
Killing an old man as it is.
And it is just, if only there was something a little bit larger. Because the other times Laurie's killed Michael, she chopped his fucking head off. This time she just bleeds. She just bleeds out. It's just underwhelming, I guess, is the word.
Yeah. The fight didn't go very long as well.
No.
It's really the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis isn't as young as she used to be.
Yeah.
Or at least get a stunt double.
Yeah.
For a lot of them. For a lot of it. Do a lot more, but have a good looking stunt double. Frank and the police department get there, with Corey's corpse in the front and despondent Laurie and Allyson in the kitchen. They decide that it ends tonight.
It ends tonight!
It ends tonight. Tie Michael to the top of a car, they take him to the scrapyard as everyone in Haddonfield looks on. A crowd passes Michael, all on the way to the industrial shredder. We even got some cameos from Halloween 2018, having the Julian, the kid who just goes, "Oh shit!" and then runs away when Michael appears and fucking attacks his babysitter, and the woman in the wheelchair from early on in the film is also there to see Michael get crushed.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a really sentimental moment, but
Yeah.
it kind of comes into another issue I have with this, is they treat Michael as if he was, you know how they released it and and the Me Too movement was a big, like, it was like that big outcry. They treat it like Michael's an abuser, which I guess is technically true, but it doesn't really fit the like supernatural fucking predator vibe.
See, I almost got like a kind of like it's Jesus and the Romans kind of vibe from it.
Hmm.
When they kill him.
Yeah.
When they finally kill Jesus.
Yeah, no.
But they're doing so much shit to eventually kill him, he's just like, nah, I'm cool. You know?
Yeah.
Which it's a weird comparison, but it's strangely there, you know?
Yeah, it's quite abstract.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't have ever thought of that. But you know what?
Laurie feeds his lifeless carcass into the shredder, and as you see his corpse crushed into tons of tiny pieces, for a second you expect Michael's going to drag her in at the last second. But no.
Yeah, it's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit anticlimactic. He's just dead and crushed. The boogeyman's gone.
Oh, Michael is dead. Oh. Is Laurie alive? Yes. Why?
It's not right. It just feels off.
Like, I feel like, basically, the only thing I had made up about how this was going to end is that Michael and Laurie were going to die together.
Yeah, that was like, see, in 2018.
Yeah.
That was how I expected it to end.
Yeah.
You know? Like, even back then, when I was like, when I knew it was going to be, well, when the first film came out, and then it was announced quickly, not long after, it was going to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so the third one ends with them both dying together.
Like, I guess it would have made more sense had they not have retconned that they're siblings. Like, if they were siblings, it would have been like, it would have made more sense. But you know, that's not a thing anymore. So you know,
no, it's weird. I don't know.
Shut your fucking mouth, me.
The rest of Haddonfield starts to move on, and for the first time in years, Haddonfield is able to breathe. Laurie and Allyson make up and reflect on Corey. She realizes how disturbed he ended up being, but now she's ready to move on. Allyson exits Haddonfield, finally prepared to move on and put all the grief and trauma behind her. It's what her and Corey wanted, a fresh start. Laurie continues her book and delivers the line, but the truth is evil doesn't die, it changes shape.
Only Laurie would be able to say it.
Yeah.
But it's... Put it at the start, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, it would have made sense. It would have made sense at the very start, where like this would make more sense for fucking Corey becoming a killer.
Like, how about you lead it into the start, and this explains why Haddonfield's full of a bunch of hateful fuckers.
Yeah, and it's like, I understand why they put it at the end too far. Because it's like Laurie accepting, it's also Laurie accepting that she can never escape evil.
Yeah.
Like, even when Michael Myers died. Because before that, I think she had only experienced the evil of Michael.
Yeah.
So that's what makes sense to me for that, like putting it at the end.
Yeah. But also, imagine how much more stuff you could explain away by saying it's evil.
Yeah.
Like, this could be Michael, you know?
Yeah. This fish tank, Michael. Back to the Haddonfield soap opera as Frank delivers Laurie her cherry blossoms. Now even Laurie begins to put all of this behind her. He doesn't give her cherry.
Cool. I do like Frank and Laurie.
Oh yeah, it's cool. They're cute together.
It's just
I like it.
They're both old and they've been through so much shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is nice.
It's nice to see them happy at last.
Yeah.
With one final shot of the Michael's mask on the table. Will someone take up the mantle and take the shape of evil? I guess we'll never find out. As Blue Oyster Cult plays us out, this is how Halloween ends.
Oh, yep, so that was indeed Halloween, and that is how it ends. It was a slog. And compounded with a bunch of poor decisions.
It's the same thing as Kills. Kills was just shit. And like, I don't know how they managed to do how good 2018 was. Like,
Yeah.
I would generally say it's in my top 3 Michael films.
Yes.
Well, it goes 1 and 2, and then 2018.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they managed to make 2 highly forgettable films with lackluster kills in both of them, except for 1 or 2 that you'll remember.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like from Halloween Kills, I remember the dumb bitch who shoots herself in the head. And then in this one, you have the blowtorch in the mouth and DJ Willie. Other than that, I don't think you would really remember much about this film other than how much you despise Corey.
Yeah, it's just he's not inherently bad. It's just he's given so much time, but it just crumbles. It's not. Why is this what you're doing for the first hour 30 and an hour 50 long movie?
I don't understand the point building him when he really doesn't do anything but kill people who appeared in this film.
My other biggest issue is just there's so little Michael and Laurie in this trilogy. But it's the whole setup.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's good when we get Michael and Laurie, but we barely ever get them together. And they've just taken so much damage that they just aren't allowed to do anything. I think they just didn't know what they were in for. And you mentioned earlier that it was originally only supposed to be 2. It was they were just gonna see how the first one did and go from there.
Yeah,
but it seems like they didn't have the material.
It's like they never had a set structure for it.
Yeah, they just had to fumble through it.
Yeah, it's like this one did well. It's like if you compare it to something like Aren't the Clown. We haven't watched the second Terrifier yet.
No,
it doesn't matter. As long as art's in it, you're gonna enjoy it.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. And that's kind of the problem with both these films. Is Michael isn't in them.
Yeah, it's a Halloween film, but there's very little Michael Myers.
Like, I think out of the characters that are named, I think Michael probably has the least amount of time on screen.
Yeah. And I think
until like the last 15 minutes. I would honestly argue the sleazy doctor had more time on screen than Michael did.
Well, in terms of stats, let's just talk about, where is the Halloween franchise from here? Well, it's in a pretty good spot. Honestly, the rights are about to be revoked. The trilogy's over. It was, Halloween 2018 was the biggest slasher movie box office of all time.
Yeah.
This movie has, within 2 days, has already grossed, over the budget.
Across the 3 films, I reckon they'll probably make upwards of 400 million.
Yeah, for sure.
Which to Jason Blum is a lot more money he can go spunk on the Conjuring series.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I suppose it does leave the franchise in a very good spot. Even if the movies haven't been as well received, 2018 is the Halloween movie that's probably going to transcend a lot of the... if you go back, you're either going to watch Halloween, the original, or Halloween 2018. You're not going to watch Rob Zombie shit. You're not going to watch any of this. But I think it will transcend. It will be the film that people go back to. Because it was really good. And we will forget about the trilogy. We will just say, yeah, the first one's good. The others are
he burned.
messy.
He burned in the house. Didn't get out. Just died.
It is the Akkad family, and they are going to sell their Halloween rights to literally anybody who pays them enough money. So
who do you reckon will be? If you had to say one studio, who'd you reckon be?
I don't even know.
I was thinking Paramount.
I was going to say Paramount.
Like, they seem like the ones I would see most likely to get it.
And basically, I see at least 2 more movies out by the end of the decade.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Definitely 1, maybe 2. Because like I said, Halloween is a license to print money at this point. You have an easy format, just follow it, and you're good. And even if you don't, even if even if you make a shit version, it still makes money.
And, like, for the music, just bring in fucking Cody Carpenter.
Yeah, exactly. Do it. It's his son.
Yeah, like, he can get the rights to all of it if he wants. You know?
Yeah.
Or just make a trilogy where you actually plan for it.
Yeah, actually have the story beats in mind. However, that has been us. We have been easily entertained. Not quite by this one, though. This one was a bit more of a slog. Yeah, it's been a long one. I had a lot of issues and thoughts with Halloween, but fortunately, we spliced them all in about 5 different times of every single point during the movie, so we don't need to do a big outro for this. I have been Ash.
I've been Slayer.
And we have been easily entertained.